Good afternoon, students, and welcome to this week's episode of This Week in Hospitality Law. So what I'm going to try to do is each week go through and give you guys a brief rundown of what we got, what we have going on this week to make sure that you all kind of get like a brief overview like we would do if this was a face-to-face class, and hopefully this will help. And for the first week, it may show you where some things are within Blackboard as well that you may or may not be familiar with already, but a refresher is always good. I wanted to start by saying I met a student in the Bake lab today, and the first thing that she asked me was, is this class going to be hard? And of course I said no, to which she said, oh, okay. Well, I think some of us may have a misconception of what this class really is. It is hospitality law, and with that it's hotel, restaurant, and travel law, kind of all rolled into one. It's not just chef law or food and beverage law. It's an all hospitality encompassing law course. Now, this is not a course where you're training to be a lawyer. This is not where you have to, gear up to take a bar or anything like that and be prepared to get in front of a judge and plead your case, per se. This class really focuses on compliance and prevention. And really what that means to you is that you're going to learn ways throughout the book, throughout the quizzes that we have. You're going to learn ways to prevent and limit possible legal liability just by complying with what the legal norms are. And some of that's just definitions. Right? There's a lot of definitions within this course that we may or may not know already that we're going to learn. But again, you'll just learn the basic foundations and principles that really affect hospitality law. There'll be a lot of examples throughout the book, throughout our discussion boards, throughout our quizzes, throughout our testing, everything like that. There'll be a lot of examples that are real world examples that you're going to see, very early on in whatever career path you take. But just, kicking that off so you guys know, again, this is a online only course, so a lot of what you do is going to be reading and learning on your own. I'm going to do everything I can through these weekly videos to get you caught up and give you an idea of what, some key points and some areas of emphasis, but reading is going to be your best friend. So just for me, when I outline this course and go through and really learn it myself again, I think that there's a path or an outline there that could help you, and it's what benefits me. Now, let me also preface that by saying I want you to learn how you feel like you learn best. If this is, if an online course is difficult for you or it has been difficult for you in the past, please let me know so we can work on that and see if we can find other ways. But for the most part, because it is an online class, a lot of what you do is going to be on you. Okay? That does not mean I'm not here to help you. So, just a brief outline. Basically, when I start each chapter, you look at the chapter outline, kind of see what you're expected to learn or what's going to be taught in this chapter. So if you just look at chapter 1, which we're starting this week, it's the future hospitality manager and legal environment, the hospitality manager and legal management, and then something that's big in every situation is ethics and the law. How those are similar, how those are different. But when you're reading through the chapter, some of those things will become more prevalent. It's like, oh, okay, now I see what that means. But the outline for me is, again, read that chapter outline. Next, I would go to the Quizlets that I have provided for you in each week. Especially when you start week 1, you can pull that up and you can see each week's Quizlet there. That just provides you with some flashcards for the legalese definitions there at the bottom of your textbook. It helps you become familiar with some terms. Some are going to be second nature already. Some of them, may be a little bit more difficult, or they may apply to this book and to these situations in a different way. So use those Quizlet flashcards. Then go ahead and switch to the back of the chapter where you see the "What would you do" section. Read through that and kind of, try to determine what it is you would do in that situation. So it's going to give you a situation. It's going to ask you a few questions. What would you do in this situation? Go ahead and kind of get in your mind, okay, this is what I would do. This is how I would handle this situation. Then read the chapter. Once you're done reading the chapter, look through those analyze the situations questions. There's a few of those within each chapter as well. Pretty short, but they give you an idea, kind of like the what would you do section. But then when you're done with all of that and the information is kind of set in, go back to that what would you do question and see if you would answer it any differently now that you have new information and new ideas from the chapter. And it may be the same, it may be different, it may open your eyes, it may just be the same, whatever it might be. But that's just a quick little outline that I put together that helps me. But again, I want you to focus on how you learn best. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything like that for you. I know you guys are really more hands-on as chefs, but just remember, we're starting to blend in more of our hospitality and tourism students so that we're all going to be blended together, and not all of us are going to be chefs or even in the food and beverage industry. So again, read the chapter outline, use those Quizlets flashcards, check at the back of the chapter about what would you do, answer that, read the chapter, analyze those situations within the chapter. There's little pieces of those, again, throughout the chapter, 2 or 3 of them. And then go back to that what would you do question and see if that's changed for you. All right, so that's your learning for week 1. Our assignments for week 1 can be found right here, and you can follow me along. I'm going to go back to the student preview like we did in the introductory video. This is going to be exactly what you see. So as you can see, the first thing we posted there was the Welcome to 265. I've now gone in and posted your agenda for this week, kind of the same thing. Make sure you go back and read that, view that course overview that we put through. Your discussion board, we're going to go to that here in just a second. Your read-learn opportunity for the week 1 is going to be chapter 1, which is prevention philosophy, and I have those few bullet points there about what you're going to get and how you're going to prepare for week 2. Okay, chapter 2, government agencies. Okay, read chapter 2, check out those definitions, then analyze those situations. Additional instruction there, I'm going to put something there for you each week, and this is what I just talked about. Okay, consider the what would you do question before reading the chapter. Make your decisions before and then again after you've read the chapter. These questions are located at the end of the chapter. View the Quizlet for each term to learn the legalese definitions of this course. Now that legalese is a term that's just in the book, okay? But that your agenda is there. It's going to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at this week. All right, so we'll start with the discussion board. To get to your discussion board, you're going to use course tools in your menu on the side over there. Scroll down till you see discussion board. All right. I'm not going to go into it too far because I haven't read that unread post yet, but I also posted to this. But basically what you're going to do is, let's start this discussion board with everyone telling us about the career path you desire in this industry. Again, it's the hospitality industry, not just being a chef or working on the food and beverage side. It could be facilities maintenance, it could be front desk operation, it could be housekeeping, it could be any of those, okay? In other words, where do you see yourself in 7 to 10 years from now? Then, share how this class is going to help you be more successful. Again, I gave you an idea of just about what this class was about here in the beginning of this video. But again, for this discussion board, and it may be different for others, but you will create your own post, okay, answering the questions that I said above. Then you're going to respond to a minimum of 2 classmates, okay? In that response, show them encouragement. Oh, that sounds great. That's a good idea. Here's some things that I thought about as well. Relate to those goals, okay? Now, you guys probably know each other, some of us may, some of us may not. It's just an opportunity to see kind of what's out there, some things that we may not have thought about. But how your goals and experiences kind of line up to maybe what some of your classmates are thinking and envisioning. But again, you're going to make your own post and then respond to a minimum of 2 posts, okay? So that's how you're going to find that. Then if you go back to the course content, chapter 1, you're going to see, if you scroll down here, there's your chapter 1 quiz. That's going to be due for this week as well. Before you start that, again, here's your link to your legalese flashcards, as well as a Kahoot. If you're not familiar with a Kahoot, it's just a little game that you can play. It gives you some ideas of some questions that are like the questions that will be on the quiz. Okay, so I say here, practice before the graded Chapter 1 quiz. You will see your score versus your classmates, so please use appropriate nicknames. I don't need anything crazy out there now. But this is not mandatory. It's just a learning opportunity for you. So take this and then take your quiz. You only get one chance at your quiz. It is multiple choice. The first quiz here that you're looking at for 265 is 12 questions. Some of them are multiple choice. Some of them are true false. Okay, so take that. Like I said, you only get one chance. It's not a multiple attempt kind of thing. And then you're going to submit it when you're done. Please be mindful of that due date as well. So that's there for you. Then if you go under tests, this is the last thing that you have to do for week 1. Is your CIC quiz, handbook syllabus quiz. Basically, this is the one that you all are taking pretty much in every class. So it's going to become repetitive, but that just lets you know how important it is both to you as the student and us as your instructors and Greenville Technical College as your college. So those are the 3 things that you're going to have to do there. If you have any questions at all, please, please, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. All of that information is there. I also put down here is all of my office hours if you need anything. Please let me know, but schedule an appointment first is always best. But then if you look up here too in the personal link, you can find out just a little bit more about me as I try to be as personal as I can in an online course for you all. That information is there. It talks a little bit about my family and my background. So if you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And as always, now that I'm new to this YouTube channel thing, please guys like and subscribe.